Meisterstahl hailing frequencies are open.
Okay, we're on.
The opinions expressed in tonight's podcast are those of the individuals speaking. They do not necessarily reflect the views of HarrisFilm Productions or its other crew members.
Greetings, this is Steve Harry Harris and the HarrisFilm crew with another fan film review where we have a watch party and discuss the fan film that we're watching right afterwards. We're doing our part in trying to help all of the fan film makers get a little bit more publicity by exposing our viewers to your stuff on our channel.
So tonight we have Matt Arnold.
Hello, everybody.
Ian Burke.
Hello, hello.
Roy Ivey on the Forbidden Planet. And Ken Mays.
HarrisFilm entered the 2024 Showrunner Awards and were 2 of 27 entries.
We don't have access to what each film has submitted their film for. Tonight we're watching Voices from the Past. Anybody seen this one before?
I have not.
Doesn't sound
I don't
familiar.
think any of us have seen this one yet. Surprise!
I'm sorry about your grandma.
Are you coming to the luncheon? Okay. Sorry. Thank you. Come on, Faith. We better go. We don't want to be the last ones to arrive.
What was that?
Oh, that's your great-grandmother's old diary? I'm not sure why Mom even kept it.
I think
No
everyone
wonder.
wants that.
You're probably right about that. So, what should we do with it?
I think I'll keep it. As a matter of fact, I want to keep this entire box.
Are you sure, Faith? This is just a bunch of worthless old relics.
I know, Mom, but you did name me after her, and I barely knew her. Maybe I can get to know her through all this old stuff.
Sure, okay, hon. Well, I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee. You want one?
I'll take one. Thanks, Mom.
Think maybe Grandma ran into some big-eared fellows.
That's what I'm thinking. Great costume.
The wedding plans are in full swing. I I managed to get 3 full weeks of leave. Jeff's mom thinks we should go to Niagara Falls, but we are going on a cruise around the Bahamas and then taking a tour through the Mayan ruins. We want to make a real adventure out of this honeymoon.
Faith! Turn that light out and go to sleep. You have school tomorrow.
What's that?
New files. I just found these in the latest batch of government declassified files.
Anything good?
Not yet.
MUFON? Same idea.
Is this the search for terrestrial alien residents?
Yes. I'm Investigator Oakley. This is Investigator Brown. What can we do for you?
I'm Faith Golterman. I feel ridiculous.
No need to be nervous. You obviously have something important to talk about.
It sounds crazy.
I'm sure we've heard crazier.
Well, I'm sure you've heard of Roswell.
July 1947, Roswell, New Mexico. The site of the most famous UFO crash in North America. Officially denied and covered up by the U.S. government. Yes, we are aware of it.
My great-grandmother served in the military. She was stationed at Wright-Patterson and present at Hangar 18 with the aliens. She helped them escape.
And how did you come by this information?
I recently found her diary.
Hope you Xerox that thing.
Man has kept records diligently since the advent of the written word. His accumulation of knowledge has grown exponentially with each passing decade. As he moved out into space, this knowledge was combined with that of many other races to create the single largest repository of information in the known universe. The repository is known as Memory Alpha. This is where you can access the Federation files.
Don't spill it this time.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Really? What makes that more credible than this? June 2nd, 1937, Biloxi, Mississippi. Strange lights are reported in the sky south of the city. Several citizens called the police in the military base. No official explanation was ever given.
37?
This report is a collection of the reports called in that night.
It was kept classified until 3 months ago. That should tell you something.
What?
But the government took it seriously. Anyways, look at the last page.
A witness saw a local farmer's truck floating in the sky in a beam of light.
Oh, okay.
An investigation turned up no evidence. Case closed.
True, nothing was
37s.
found. Not
Yeah,
the farmer,
the 37s.
nor his truck. The farmer, Eugene Whitaker, was never seen again. His wife filed a missing persons report, but he was never located.
You did not answer my question. Why is that diary more credible than this missing persons file?
Since you've not read it, I'll forgive your skepticism. But this is a first-hand report by an eyewitness that can be verified. You did research the two names.
Faith Garland Carlson served at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in 1947. She married Jeff Carlson, a scientist employed by the U.S. Air Force from 1943 through 1947. He was present at Wright-Patterson in July 1947.
This could blow the lid off the government's cover-up of their knowledge of UFOs, extraterrestrials, alien technology, and who knows what else.
You know how it will go. A soldier with mental issues, either hallucinating, on drugs, or just crazy. One piece of actual physical evidence is all it would take. But all we have here is a
All right,
diary
just like
by
that
some
episode where I wanted to
crazy
see a
woman
Pac-Lid,
and some sketches
I
drawn
want
by
to
the
see a
same
Ferengi.
crazy woman.
Yeah.
It's the drawing that's the most credible. And
There you
maybe
go.
she had some actual evidence. Didn't Miss Golderman say she had a box of her grandmother's stuff?
Great-grandmother. And yes, she did.
We need to look through that stuff.
This does not look anything like a standard gray.
Wonder why.
Hello?
Miss Golderman, this is Detective Brown from Star Investigations.
Please, call me Faith.
Okay, Faith. And we were wondering about your great-grandmother's other things.
What about them?
We were hoping we can go through them.
That's okay with me.
Great. Can we meet you?
I can bring them in.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
Great. We look forward to seeing you.
When?
So why does everyone else see a big-eyed alien, and this woman sees a big-eared alien? And why does that give her credibility?
Cover up. The government released the descriptions of the Greys. That way they can monitor close encounters and be able to tell the real events from the more unreliable reports.
Sometimes you are just a little too far out there. So if I understand you, if someone reports seeing a bug-eyed alien, the government ignores it because they created that image.
Yep.
But if someone reports seeing a large head and large eared alien, they're all over it?
Exactly.
Works
Lunch?
for me.
You buying?
Sure, let's go.
Shouldn't they be using a Geiger counter too?
What's this?
I thought it may have been an iPad left at her house by someone. I don't think it's hers.
No brand markings. Uh-oh.
Federation info pad.
Mm-hmm.
Could I look at this a little closer? I need to verify its manufacture date.
Sure, it's of no use to me.
Did you see the photo of the Ferengi ship that fell out too?
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to keep that?
Can I
What's
help
up
you with
that?
this?
No, I have it.
We'll be in touch.
Take your dirty trunk and get out of here.
Yeah, we'll just steal the technology.
That was a little rude.
This symbol, I've seen it before.
Really? Where?
I don't know, but I'll find it.
Captain Christopher?
You look like hell. Did you work all night?
We were onto something.
Really?
Yes, that symbol, I knew I'd seen it before. An internet search revealed multiple matches. After I filtered out the corporate logos and other business-related matches, I found this.
1990s.
Check it out.
Okay. What exactly am I looking at?
Personal correspondence between Samuel Clemens and Jack London. Notice that
that's
several
right.
of the letters have the symbol drawn next to the signature.
I see.
TNG, it wouldn't have
This is
been
Mark
that
Twain's iPad.
symbol, so it would have been the
If I thought you were
TNG
serious,
one.
I'd be mad at you right now. But I need you to go to Detroit and run down a lead for me.
I'm going to Detroit to interview a lunatic who was kidnapping people for medical experiments.
Yes, but specifically I want you to talk to the arresting officers. I'll send you their contact information while you're en route. Your plane leaves in 3 hours.
Okay. What am I looking for?
I don't know, but this guy Loomis claims that there were others involved who had laser guns.
Laser gun.
Got it. And where are you going?
New York City Police Archives.
Take a shower first.
So the guy hasn't figured out how to turn on the info pad yet.
Isn't that kind of weird?
He's just looking at the start screen.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
July 7th, 1947. Today the world changed. I had never given any thought to life outside of our planet, but today I met 3 living beings that came to Earth in a flying ship. The military had tasked Jeff with establishing communication with the aliens. It seems impossible. Jeff is not a linguist, and the general will not authorize any additional help.
Thought you were told to turn your phone off.
Hello?
I can only locate one of the arresting officers. I just sent you his address and phone number.
Okay. Got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. If you haven't already done so, please stow your carry-on luggage underneath the seat in front of you or in an overhead bin. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is prohibited on the entire aircraft. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the lavatory smoke detectors is prohibited by...
So the 2 people you were helping were cops?
As it turns out, no. They must have been MIBs.
MIBs.
MIB.
Do you mean Men in Black?
Yes, they had to be.
You did not mention that they were wearing black. And didn't you say one of them was a woman?
Well, yes, one was a woman, maybe an alien hybrid.
I see.
Milana.
Men in Black that do not wear black, nor were they men, and one was actually an alien. What made you come to that conclusion?
The MIB part or the woman?
Well, both.
They must have been MIBs. They had laser guns and were shooting at some things that looked like lizard men, and the female had a weird complexion, and her eyebrows looked fake.
What do you mean?
To Paul.
Well, they were kind of straight,
In the
but
90s?
at an
To Paul and Archer.
pretty sure her eears were pointed. She tried to hide them under her hair, but when she was shooting at the lizard man, they popped out.
Women shake their eyebrows all the time.
But tell me about these lizard men.
I didn't get a real good look at him, but he was pretty tall, and it looked like he was wearing some kind of armor.
I don't know what
There
they're
was
talking
Zindi.
about.
Zindi.
In the 1990s?
Yep.
Slightly exaggerated.
That's when the Zindi went back in time.
Kirk and Spock.
If you got some sick. Got pieces. That's a pretty picture. Start over time.
The Enterprise.
Mm-hmm. Captain Christopher.
Except that picture shouldn't exist. That timeline was erased.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should have been there.
They took the film, right? Unless they didn't get the master.
No, the whole timeline was erased.
Oh, that
Remember?
was Detroit.
No, not at the very beginning.
Well,
Yeah, I know what
interviewing
you're
that
saying.
piece is always fun.
Could have had one
Sorry,
frame,
as you know,
one
most of these
film.
leads turn out to be dead ends.
Maybe not.
Really.
So what do you think?
It's Apollo.
That's amazing. Yeah. What does it mean?
If the German Spock traveled back in time.
Oh, I almost
I
forgot.
think that's
I also obtained
Paul.
this.
Paul Forrest, you think?
Yes. Paul Forrest.
A hair?
Supposedly from the female alien in Loomis's car. The crime lab at the time came up with nothing from it.
So they just gave it to you?
Not exactly.
Of course, they're artist interpretation.
Evidence goes missing all the time.
Right.
Anyway, with all the DNA records available now, we have a better chance at matching it.
Well, that's true. With the general public giving their DNA to every genealogy site imaginable, the government has access to the vast majority of people's DNA, so we definitely should have it tested.
I'll drop it off at the lab on my way home.
Well, you're not the only one with some new evidence. Look at this.
Okay. So where did you get this?
It came from the wing camera of an Air Force fighter in 1960. It was one of the recently declassified files. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, but that's a photo of an unidentified object in U.S. airspace. And furthermore, it has identifying markings on it written in English.
It appears to say NCC 1701.
That seems to be a military designation. Is it an experimental aircraft?
That's what I thought, but the rest of the file records that the object just appeared on radar out of nowhere. Fighters were scrambled. One fighter even got close enough to get several pictures of it before it vanished as quickly as it appeared.
Probably just
So one arm of the government did not know what the other was doing.
Maybe, maybe
It's
not.
what it is.
I'm still trying to track down the pilot. Captain John Christopher. Now, maybe it was an errant stealth technology test, but I think there's more to it than that.
That actually seems to make a lot of sense.
Well, we'll see. Well, I've got a cheating husband stakeout tonight, so
Uh-oh.
read this and I'll go over the Detroit files and we'll compare notes tomorrow.
This could take a while. Do you want me to do the stakeout?
No, it's okay, but thanks.
I think the photo angle was from the wrong angle. It should have been the opposite direction.
How was the stakeout?
Got the goods on the cheating bastard.
Whoa.
We got a payday with one night's work. And while you were sleeping in, I found her.
I did not know you lost her.
Very funny. I mean, I found her on the internet.
Really?
Maybe. I scanned this in and did the usual searches on the FBI databases. You know, discreetly.
And they had something on her?
No. But facial recognition scans matched her to a photo in a local newspaper from Carbon Creek, Pennsylvania.
That's fantastic. So
That's
you
her
have her current
grandmother.
address?
Not exactly. The article was from 1957.
To Paul.
She was in the background of a photo about a local mining cave-in.
To Paul's grandmother.
I don't see how this falls in that kind of research.
There's a
I didn't
controversy on
either.
that.
But I started
Grandmother
perusing
or-
the local newspaper at
What,
the
she
time.
just didn't want to admit she's
and I
that old?
found out that
Yeah.
6 months prior to that photo being taken of her, there was a meteor strike 2 miles outside of town.
And?
No and. No crater was found. Just a couple reports of something impacting. Then we have this photo of the same woman who is suspected of being an alien in Detroit. It just seems interesting.
Well, it does look like her, but honestly, facial recognition is an imperfect technology, and that match is hardly conclusive. But since we're on the subject, and given the time that I had last night to go through the new files, check this out.
Aren't these the same two from yesterday?
Hold your horses.
Well, I see pointed ears and tapered eyebrows.
How do you see pointed
So
ears
where
are
are these
covered
from?
up?
Well, that's just it. This pair is from a police report in New York City from 1930. They were caught stealing clothes, and then they attacked a police officer and escaped. This pair is from a report for a call for help from a woman in an office. 1967, New York
Roberta
City,
Lincoln.
and Miss Roberta Lincoln placed a call for help. Police responded. The men escaped from a third-floor office with no exterior doors. These were her descriptions of the men, but they were never located. And when police tried to follow up, Miss Lincoln refused to cooperate.
And the third
Curious.
set?
Oddly, they're from a report at McKinley Rocket Base on the very same day in 1967. They were arrested for trespassing during a rocket launch.
Or
They had
detained.
several unusual handheld devices, and one of the base security officers said that he saw them disappear into sparkles of light. Even more interesting, a nuclear warhead rocket test went awry the very same day.
I'm sure you noticed. In 2 of these, the men have logos on their shirts, resembling the image on that iPad.
Yes, I did.
So what does it mean?
I don't know. But I'd like to see if we can find this Roberta Lincoln, if she's still alive.
Good idea.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good news.
Here you go.
Thank you.
All right, let's have it.
I found Roberta Lincoln. And she is coming down to talk to us.
I was looking for a road trip.
We don't have the budget for that.
Oh, okay.
So let's compare notes before she gets here. What'd you think of the diary?
So it was very compelling. A UFO crashed. 3 aliens survived. First they said that they were here to help us develop new technology. Then they said that they were here to invade us. Then they said they accidentally crashed here from the future. A 4th alien shows up that can change shape. Then Garland and her fiancé helped them all escape by using the energy from a nuclear blast.
And I checked, and there was a report of a UFO sighting during that atomic test.
The facts in this diary that can be verified do suggest that it can be true. We have everything but a smoking gun. Come in.
I have a delivery.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
This is it.
Well?
They were able to extract the DNA from the sample.
Great. So we can run it through our genealogy database and find out who this woman was.
No, we can't.
Why not? While a complete DNA sample was extracted and evaluated, the results must be considered tainted and not valid. The DNA results indicate that this sample belongs to a creature whose cellular structure is based on copper.
I don't think we're going to be finding a copper-based person with DNA filed in on an online database.
That's true, but you do realize we now have the smoking gun we were looking for.
Oh, I'm looking for Mrs. Oakley.
I'm Karen Oakley.
Hi, I'm Roberta Lincoln. Do you want to talk to me?
Yes. Yes, Miss Lincoln.
Places.
Please have a seat.
Be good, Ariel.
We know who the cat is.
Her name is Ariel.
Thank you for coming, Miss Lincoln.
Oh, just call me Bobby, honey.
Okay, Bobby. As I explained on the phone, we're looking into some cold cases and came upon a file generated when you called about a break-in at an office building you were working at in the 60s.
Oh, I just love the 60s.
We were wondering if you remember anything about these two men.
He's a handsome fellow. Is he your husband?
No, Miss Lincoln. These men broke into your office.
I haven't been working for years. Do you mean somebody broke into my house?
No, Miss Lincoln. 1968, Manhattan. You were working for an encyclopedia company.
Nobody uses encyclopedias anymore. They just go look up things on a computer.
No, Miss Lincoln. Do you recognize these men?
Is that so?
You can talk to your cat?
Sure. She said it's time for dinner.
I hope she wasn't confessing to making a deposit in my office.
Well, Miss Lincoln, Bobby, I think we are through here. If by chance you remember anything about the break-in, please call us.
It is lovely seeing the both of you. You make a lovely couple.
Are you sure we should let her walk the streets alone? She seems slightly confused.
Slightly? Well, she did find her way here just fine. She's not alone. She has Ariel.
Maybe so. But here in a while, I think I'll give her a call to make sure she made it home.
So, they have one diary from 1947, a personal computer from about hundreds of years in the future, and one hair of a Vulcan.
That's correct. Well, they do have fragmented police reports on time travel incursion.
What would be the danger if they put it all together and discover time travel is possible? And Earth has been visited by beings from the future.
Well, the general population has been more receptive to the idea of extraterrestrial life. The knowledge of time travel this early in development for human beings, it could be catastrophic.
So, all the evidence, meager as it is, must go away.
Yes, and soon. Lincoln, they're intelligent. And I do believe that They're not afraid to share the evidence or their theories openly.
Agreed. Tonight, then. Let's go get some food.
Very good and credible.
I was thinking about it all night, and I think I found the answer.
Me too, but go ahead.
I know it sounds crazy, but if I said time travel, what would you say?
Exactly what I was thinking. You know, Mark Twain wrote about time travel, possibly through experience.
The Roswell aliens, what did they call themselves?
Ferengi.
One of their stories was that they accidentally landed here through a time warp.
Well, the MIB alien and the woman you found on the internet could be the same person if she was a time traveler.
And the pointy-eared guy could have been in New York and McKinley at the same time if he was able to travel through time.
Well, we'll be able to prove it after we crack the iPad.
And we have extraterrestrial DNA.
Prepare to make history.
Or do you?
They got the iPad.
The hair sample is gone too.
No sign of forced entry.
Star Investigations. You say a corpse of an unknown animal has washed up on the beach?
New York?
Okay, got it. We'll head over there right away. Take a lot of pictures.
Just in case the authorities try to remove it before we get there.
And hide your
Okay,
phone.
thanks. Well, looks like we have two mysteries today.
How's that?
A sea monster and the break-in.
Break-in's no mystery. You know it and I know it. It's the ongoing cover-up by the government. And now we know why.
You think the government knows about the time travelers?
Of course they do. How else to explain the UFO with English markings on it? It's an American craft from the future. And we also have the iPad with English markings written on the back of it as well.
Well, maybe you're right. But let's go get the sea monster before the next cover-up begins.
Go for it.
Uh-oh, missed something. The Ferengi ship. Good on you, Glenn Wolf. And Dan Reynolds. There's your Ferengi. Voices from the past. Awesome. I think the acting was generally good.
Excellent performance by the cat.
But yeah, the cat. I'm sorry. I'm a cat person anyway, so you already had me there.
A pretty interesting storyline there.
If it's a Wolf Reynolds production, you're
Yes.
in for a ride.
Oh yeah, and he does a good job on it too. It was interesting, and just so many things related to Star Trek. Everything related in some of the episodes, and
Yeah, a lot of fan service
pieces
there.
was falling in place, and you realize all the evidence and all, which it turned out pretty good. But I like the it disappeared quickly.
My question is, why did the cat not see the picture on the floor?
2 thumbs up. Very, very enjoyable story. I like the way it all kind of tied all the stuff together. Yeah, that was cool.
Short and sweet,
there.
Huh?
Yeah.
So what do you say, Roy? Was it 2 thumbs up?
Yeah, certainly give it 2 thumbs up, and I think it was an inventive way to tell a Star Trek story or an X-Files story.
Yeah.
I think they brought the evidence together. They were able, and that's what happened. These troublesome time travelers, go back and fix their mistakes. And another thing I'd like to see, and they've done it before, or had some false starts on doing a Gary 7 series.
Yes.
I think that would be a great show. And actually, that would be
done
a
that
great
one
show
episode.
It would be,
Right.
But I'd love some fan films about the adventures they had. I think it's great work, and they the Mulder-esque and the Scully. I think that they bring real life to the characters, and they've grown a bit over time, and I wouldn't mind seeing a few more of these, because I still think there's plenty of other references, and depending on what happens in the future, Yeah.
So you give it 2 thumbs up?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I like the connecting the dots of the various incursions in history, but it seemed to me that it was too neat. It was too tied up in a bow. And there are no anomalous sightings. There's, literally the last 100 years of potential sightings, and not one of them turns out to be a blind alley. Not one of them turns out to be wrong. They're all directly tied to events in various shows.
Well, it was also keeping it down to a
and
certain length of film.
Yeah, but also the fact that every single incident of time travel that you saw on the show was referenced. It's like every single
I'm not
one.
sure that's true.
I did like they're bringing in Roberta Lincoln, and I knew as soon as she walked in and was doing the ditzy old lady whose memory wasn't all there, and she's basically the crazy cat lady. I was like, yeah, she's actually going to be a very top on the ball person, and she's putting on a front to these people, and it turned out I was exactly right.
Yeah.
But I also liked the fact that the cat was not Isis; it was a different cat and a different shapeshifter.
Why wouldn't they switch out? Yeah, it's just like a posting in the military anyway.
The only thing is, it put the question in my mind is, where is Gary?
Yeah, he's probably dead by now.
Well, he's a supervisor. He might have gone back to wherever planet he was being trained at in order to train new agents. And
His
basically, he felt that he had Roberta far enough along that she could fly solo.
That makes sense too.
With supervision from a shapeshifter. I'm surprised that they did not reference the events in that Voyager episode.
Yeah, they missed the Voyager stuff.
What's the deal? I was talking, it's like that insignia, the specific insignia was Voyager era, or Deep Space Nine, right?
Yeah, the pad would have probably been left by Nog or Rom.
So what'd you say,
so it was Deep
Roy?
Space Nine.
that's your one piece of information that did completely tie into the discovery of these aliens or reference back. So they did have a piece of information that didn't reflect on the case. They didn't have any
Right.
backup.
It's like taking a leap of logic and looking at your shirt. Okay, lean back a little bit, show your shirt off a little. Okay, and you go, okay, that kind of look. Well, it's a delta, right? So
Yeah,
hello,
so
it's a way different delta than what you have on that pad. Come on, it's just one of those weird leaps in logic.
Well, this is part of a series. It's either the second or the third one that these that they've done. It's a combination of the X Files and Star Trek. I think it's very unique, and it's a way to do a Star Trek story with seeing what happens and what the wake is left behind of our Star Trek travels in the past or in the future, depending on how you look at it. But also, I think the Voyager thing might even be in our future. I'm not sure exactly on the timetable.
I did notice one thing. When they
What's
opened
that?
the folders, there wasn't nothing in there.
All right, but what about the coffee? Did you notice it looked like they actually had something liquid in those cups? That's the thing that really upsets me on a lot of TV shows. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you could tell on like NCIS they're delivering coffee and they almost drop the cup because there's nothing in it.
Yeah, at least they did have something in that.
Okay, the thing that really I liked the best was not just that it was a contemporary piece, but they didn't use the names Spock, Kirk, Enterprise, all of those things that we know as fans. You don't need to. Name dropping is one of our bad habits as filmmakers, fan filmmakers. That town looked very familiar. I feel like I've been there. I didn't even notice it in the credits as to where they were, but my brother lives in Arkansas, so
I
I've
give him
probably
2
been there.
thumbs up.
Excellent.
Everyone I have seen, he's done good.
The photo allegedly taken by the wing camera of Captain Christopher's fighter jet.
Yeah.
There's no way a still from a wing camera would be in color like that. That would have been
Well,
black and white and very, very grainy.
actually, back in Vietnam, we started using color. So yeah, in 1967, it could have been a color 16 millimeter film, but we're led to believe in the episode that that whole reel of film was missing. So unless they made a duplicate or there was some kind of weird mechanism that caught one frame, somehow it's an interesting angle to the story.
It
But
was too high res, and the vivid color just really struck me as being out of place for that era.
color I don't have a problem with. It's the, like you said, the
I mean,
crispness, the fact that
even wing camera shots that you see in modern fighter jets today don't look like that.
but hey, he's got a great special effects group, so let's show off a little bit, right?
The pacing could have been a little swifter. At certain parts, you could have probably trimmed like another 5 minutes off of it, just by making a little bit of faster pace. Ken was right though; it did fall together real quickly. They quickly made the grays like a made up thing that was like a smoke and mirrors. So instantly, all the pins lined up, and instantly they're finding all this information on Kirk and Spock and T'Pol.
Yeah.
And it did come together real easy without a lot of pounding the pavement.
The episode that episode where they were in that office was filmed at an airport. They got permission to film at the airport in that room.
Cool.
And they got permission from them to film that. They had to set up. They set up out in that hallway, and everything was done quickly
An
and
airport terminal that wasn't being used or whatever.
yep.
Cool.
That's the story that I heard about that
Somewhere
several
in
years
Arkansas.
ago.
It'd be interesting to throw Roberta Lincoln and them together in an actual intelligent conversation, maybe when they retire or something and Roberta's still alive and they end up in the same place, but it's not a crazy house. It's a retirement village. So
I was actually thinking that at some point they were going to reference the fact that James Kirk spent some time in a mental institution in the 1950s.
that would have been
And
interesting.
He sort of did.
Yeah. If
The
I remember
events,
right, it was the other guys that did that. I don't remember who was.
yeah,
I
it was
think
Star
that
Trek
was
Phase
New
2 that
Voyages.
actually did it. But
Right.
it was based on a short story from the old Star Trek New Voyages compilation book.
Paperback. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that.
And it was one of the best of the series, the Mind Sifter.
I love
And
that one.
making a reference to that would have bridged the events from the show into the events of the fan fiction.
Films. Right.
Yeah. You could reference the events of the short story without
Yeah.
necessarily endorsing or referencing the fan film.
That's true.
That was a very powerful story. That was very very good, and it talked a lot
And
about.
remember, they actually printed his picture in the local paper to try to identify him.
Yes. So you've seen the one they did with Gary Seven and Roberta Lincoln, right? Or I don't remember if Gary was there or not. I remember Roberta Lincoln.
They started to do some work. They started
What's
to
that?
do some work, and they did some stuff, and it looked really good. And I've seen, heard they've got some good Gary Seven music, and they had a group that was going to move forward with that, and then
Plans fell apart. I know how that works.
Those problems.
Yeah.
And they shut down everything. But I don't think there's anything stopping it now. If they wanted to.
So, in closing, congratulations. And we are looking forward to your next film. Well, that's it for tonight. So, good night from Matt Arnold, Ian Burke.
Good night.
Roy Ivey on the Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, good night.
And Ken Mays. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our show. Come back and see us another time.
Hailing frequencies are closed. Transmission complete.